Hi, I'm Sylvie Bouchard. I'm Dusk Dance's Festival Director, and we are here in beautiful Trinity Bellwoods Park, where Dusk Dances all began. I'd like to introduce you to Michael Caldwell. Michael is a beautiful, very talented, and a powerful dancer, and he's also a thoughtful, daring, and intelligent choreographer. Michael has done a few pieces for Dusk Dances, and this year he has curated the Withrow Park season. So I'm curious to ask you a few things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm wondering, when you curated Dusk Dances, do you feel that there were things that are particular to curated that festival?
Definitely. I think that what's interesting about Dusk Dances is that it's really an experience. It's something that, anyone can come to the park and they basically go on a journey. They meet a host in the very beginning, and then they're led around to all these different places in the park. So really, the program order is very important. How the pieces flow together, how we curate where people walk in the park is also very, very important as well. So, and that's not something you necessarily think about when you're sitting in an auditorium with a proscenium arch in the dark. That's a very confined and set space. This is the outdoors. So we really have to think about those things as we curate the festival.
Very nice. So yeah, journey is a good word. So it's the whole journey that
Absolutely,
is.
yeah.
I'm wondering also in the program that you did this year, if there's a theme or like seeds of a synchronicity of some kind between the pieces.
Well, I think definitely I'm sort of hanging on to the word collision for this festival. I'm thinking about the world we live in at this moment and how a lot of different ideas and people and cultures are colliding together. And as we've seen in all the news, not in particularly great ways. But I'm really interested in how things collide together and beauty is created from that. So in the program, there's a lot of different kinds of collisions, whether it's the actual artists interacting with the audience directly and that collision, the very sort of literal collision of flamenco feet and tap feet on the floor. But also if you look at flamenco, it evolved from the Andalusia region of Spain. And it's the collision of all the different cultures that were in that area at that time, the Romani people, the Muslims, the Jews, the native people of Andalusia as well. And that's what the beauty of flamenco came from that collision. There's just a lot of different ways that we can think about that word in the program, and I'm sure I'll go more into that when we talk to people at the park. But that's sort of the basic theme that I'm working with.
When you're looking at a piece as a curator, a piece you may be interested in, are there certain things that you look for?
Well, specifically in the case of Dusk Dances, I think it's important to think about the park setting and think about that it's outdoors in the sun with a lot of distractions. So I think work that can be site-specific or site-responsive in that way, I think is super important. Generally, I look for work that has a lot of integrity and a lot of depth in the research of what they're trying to say and what they're exploring, both in form and in content as well. I think it's very important. And work that, artists that are trying new things and taking risks. I think that's important. I think it's something that we need to see, and I think the audience would really enjoy is going along again for that journey, that experience with the choreographer.
And the audience may or may not know that in a Dusk Dancers program, we usually have a mix of commissions, so new works, and works that are readapted for the park, so that we always give a chance to choreographer to go beyond and to try new things. So it's a different thing, isn't it? Like to program, to readapt a work from the stage, or to to do a new work. For instance, the piece that you programmed, choreographed by Peter Chin. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. It's a duet that Peter Chin is creating for two fantastic dancers, Niveda Ramalingam and Polga Mochichoma, who are two artists that are working in the contemporary form but have a very deep history in their own traditional forms. So Niveda is a wonderful Bharatanatyam dancer, and Polga is a dancer in African dance from Mozambique. So they're bringing these two very strong technical forms together into a world that Peter is going to sort of, it's a collision, right? So it's this place where they're colliding all their cultures together and taking a risk and seeing what kind of beauty can come out of it.
Yeah.
So,
I'm curious to know if you could pinpoint for us the beginning of your interest for curation.
I mean, really, my interest in curation has come from a long time ago. I received a bachelor's degree in art history and film from Syracuse University in the States. And I originally came to Toronto in 2002 to do a master's degree in museum studies, thinking that I would be a curator. I find it interesting, too, that you can have interests that kind of stay on the back burner for quite some time, but they're always there. And I think that's really what this is that throughout my dance and choreography career, I've always had the thought of curation, programming, presenting in the mix of what I think I wanted to do with my career. And so with opportunities like this, opportunities with other sort of festivals and series in the city as well, I've been able to sort of begin to cultivate that and begin to explore what that could be for myself.
It's been a real pleasure to see you through this process of you curating the season this year. I am very excited to see your program.
Me too. I'd love to see it.
I know it's always like that. You don't know how it's going to look like until you actually see it in the park, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thrilled about the artists that you brought in this year. And I'm also thrilled to have been able to, through Dusk Dances, give you this opportunity to curate a program. I think it's a magnificent program, and I'm looking forward for the audience to see it too. Thank you for this interview.
Of course.
It was a pleasure to talk with you and to actually, for me to get to know things that I didn't know about you. And I'm looking forward to the event, to see your program. And you've done such wonderful work. It's been a pleasure to have you part of Dusk Dances this year.
Thank you. It's been a great pleasure of mine to be a part of Dusk Dances over the years and now in this new capacity. And I'm, again, looking forward to sharing the work with everyone out there.
We'll see you from August 5th to the 12th at Dusk Dances Withrow Park.
Bye.
Bye.